suppose if Elon Musk can fix us online, he can't fix us offline. At least the British, at least.
Elon Musk, how much to buy the British police?
Please.
Which would be good, actually. The libertarian King Musk would be decent.
I know that's a Stephen Fry and Laurie joke, the idea of the privatisation of the British police force, but I mean, he could actually solve them, because how can it get worse than this? And in case you're wondering what I'm talking about, is the fact that it just keeps happening. We'll start off with Caroline here. Newest news on latest person persecuted by the British police for not being a leftist.
I was going to say, right, okay, before we go any further, right, I feel like we've covered this story before.
Yeah.
Because it was a different one a few weeks ago, right?
Yeah. And a few
now,
weeks before that.
Now, this is going to be a middle-class woman who has gender-critical views that is being bullied by the police.
Bingo.
Right.
You got it in one, Carl, because it just keeps happening. I don't know
who Caroline Farrow is.
She's a good friend, but she's just writing here her story about what happened to her. How it started, no warrant. I opened the door to this, and it got pushed open to come in. You can see the police officer, who doesn't have a warrant, pushing open her door to break his way into her house illegally, so that he can arrest her.
Got myself a turf here.
Yeah, the reason for this being that she'd said, well, not leftist-wing things online.
Right.
How it finished, being frisked and whisked off to be taken to the cells and shown some memes posted by somebody else. Not even your own memes.
Meme police are like, did you like and retweet this?
Yeah, you're not even going to be shown your own memes. All those jokes about we're all going to be at the Nuremberg trials and they're showing our memes on the board and we're all laughing with each other. No, they won't even show our memes. Show other people's memes.
Well, at least
nothing to do with us.
At least it'll be funny when we're being marched off to the gulags.
Apparently not, because they're just not even relevant. If we go to the next link, she has the full story there, and it just gets more and more absurdist the more you read it. So she says, well, start off, tea time. I was doing a roast chicken. Knock at the door, 2 coppers. There's been an allegation of harassment and malicious comms, and we'll come to arrest you.
Oh yeah, this is modern Britain.
Well, actually, they come to the door and said that there's been an allegation we can come in. I said, do you have a warrant? They said, we don't need one. And this 6'3" bloke forced his way in. Like,
very British, this.
100% illegal.
This isn't anything that would happen in the Soviet Union or Nazi Germany. This is what Britain should be like.
Yeah.
Don't need a warrant to break in. There's been an allegation that you've been ideologically non-conformist on the internet.
And we're not even...
Disgusting.
There's another aspect of this, because all of that is obviously horrific. But the allegation... But we haven't even got to charges. There's no crime. The thought crime hasn't even got there. There's just... We think you've committed thought crime, therefore we're just going to destroy the rule of law now. Break in without a warrant. What are you going to do about it? Well, actually...
It's the most shameful thing.
They seized all my devices, including my work Chromebook and my homework iPad. Why? In case she tweets some more things, I guess. Which will upset my 10-year-old with autism even more because all our Harry Potter audiobooks are stored on there, and she can't do homeschooling anymore. Good job, police. Why do you need the electronic devices?
Real threat to the realm here, wasn't there?
Keeping in mind, the only reason British police usually take electronic devices is because of terrorism or some other serious crime. Like...
His Majesty's plod really doing the job here.
It has to be something actually serious for them to justify this. Yeah. And they're doing it on the basis of someone made an allegation that you did a wrong thing. And they were happy to just do this, which, again, I think is illegal, but whatever. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I got frisked, shoved in a cop car and taken to Guildford, Nick, where my wedding jewellery, my stud earrings, and my watch were taken off me.
Yeah, because that's dangerous stuff.
Yeah.
Potential weapons.
A few hours later, the solicitor came in and I was interviewed. Oh. Custody Sarge was a bit embarrassed.
Sorry about this violation of the rule of law and the fact that you haven't actually committed a crime you've been charged with.
He told me that emailing people malicious messages was a crime. The PCs told him I hadn't actually emailed anyone. Right, so we're off to a good start. Nobody in the room knows why you're there.
I agree with you, sir, but I haven't sent any malicious emails.
The police were telling their sergeant, actually, she's not here for that.
Oh.
Like, nobody in the room knows why they're there. We've arrested her, we've broken the law, we've just destroyed the idea of warrants, and what have we done this for? We don't know.
Well, I'd allegedly written some insulting messages on the internet.
But that's the point. It's like...
God forbid.
You've got nothing else to do with your life, but what if we just do all these terrible things for no reason? So, okay.
What percentage of burglaries are solved?
We'll get to that.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So, the PCs told him he hadn't emailed anyone, but allegedly wrote some insulting messages on the internet. Those were their words. I got shown loads of posts from Kiwi farms, from Real Mutter for Ya and Kit Kat. I was asked to explain a cartoon that Kit Kat had posted.
So this was before Kiwi Farms got deplatformed then?
Yeah. I explained that I wasn't responsible for these posts. Kit Kat was, because Kit Kat posted them. That's how the internet works. I don't know what smoke the police have been smoking.
This is absurd. Like, the police burst in. Yeah, no, screw
You're under arrest.
Screw your constitutional rights. Have you seen what's on Kiwi Farms by someone called Kit Kat? Have you seen this? You're responsible for this. Like, what the hell are you talking about?
Just had their interview. Are you Kit Kat?
I'm a 4-year-old mum. I'm cooking dinner. What are you talking?
But that's the point. The police are like, have you seen Kit Kat's posts? I'm like, are you just showing me your post? Like, is that what this is? You just weren't getting enough likes. So you're like, well, you got to arrest some people and show them. Why am I here?
We've deduced that real mother for Ya is you.
Are you a
Caroline
mother? Very
Farrow.
interesting. Husband was furious. Videoed the whole encounter.
No kidding. I don't mean to laugh because this is tragic, but like...
No, this is what I mean. Like, we've read multiple stories, like you mentioned. Every couple of weeks, there's some horrific circumstance, but at least some of it is legal under the ridiculous laws. None of this seems to be legal. We just don't have any kind of law anymore.
Just... the post were cute.
Have you seen Kit Kat's posts?
I just love the police have discovered the internet.
Yeah.
Have decided that she's posting on Kiwi. I mean, maybe she is. I don't know.
When read my rights, I was told that it could be used as evidence against me. I replied that women don't have penises. Anything you say can be used against you in a court of law. Women don't have penises. Well, that's
police
on the list.
start reddening in the face. Like, how dare you?
What you going to do about it? I really love it. It's like Solzhenitsyn on the way out. It's just like, yeah, well, Stalin is an asshole. Well, I'm going for death anyway. Anyway, I put my side of the story to the coppers. I asked people not to speculate on who reported me because they will claim harassment.
It's probably Kiwi Farms that reported it.
But there's the thing. Some rando apparently reports them. Right. They don't face any recompense for this clearly false report.
Of course.
The innocent individual gets arrested with no warrant, their house bust into, their electronic device is stolen, and then interviewed about Kit Kat's posts online. And the person who alleged this is just sat there drinking champagne.
Kiwi Farms of all places.
But it's swatting on another level. I mean, like, at least with swatting, there's a line of logic that can be followed. Which
it's
is
a very British form of swatting, yes.
Yeah, but with swatting in America, a person has a gun, okay, we have a legal duty to respond, we have to respond in seriousness, whereas here, there is no duty to respend. There is no duty to respond illegally, never mind with force like this, and instead they just go along with it because a complaint was made.
Look, we checked the IP addresses of Kiwi Farms, and it was targeted at this house. I would be like, okay, well, that at least makes some sense. There's at least...
It's still illegal. At least it's logical illegality.
At least, exactly. At least it connects. Like, the police got offended by something on Kiwi Farms, and so Caroline Farrow's door was kicked in and she was arrested.
Yeah, Dankula.
Yeah, that's
what happened to Count Dankula. Like, the police were
But
offended.
at least he had posted it. Like, I mean, they're not even alleging that she posted it, right? Like, if they'd said, look, your IP address comes to here. So, like, okay, it might be you, might be your husband, might be your kid. Who knows? Like... But they're not even... What's the connection?
This is why I got to cover it. There is no law in this country anymore. I'm giving up. This country is doomed if this is how the police are allowed to act.
Memes on Kiwi Farms, Caroline.
Have you not seen Kit Kat's posts? I'm actually feeling pretty harassed and anxious right now, as one might imagine. Whereas the person who made the complaint just gets away with it. No recompense. I got the feeling from the copper who checked up on me in the cells that they were pretty embarrassed about the whole thing after they realised what they'd done, presumably. I asked the police in the car, is this what you joined the force for? Arresting mothers for being insulting to their persecutors on social media? And of course the police were a bit red.
Why didn't they just cite tweets that she'd sent that were less flattering about trans people? Because that would have been at least something that connected her to...
Because they've been told not to do that, because that's not how they should follow the law. So instead, they're just making up the law, and that's how they're going to follow the law. It doesn't exist.
Kiwi Farms posted something. I suppose we should thank people for getting it deplatformed then, really, shouldn't we? You know? Fewer British mothers will be persecuted if Kiwi Farms doesn't exist.
What do the police do all day? They just check Kiwi Farms. If we go to the next link, we can see she's been on Mark Stein's show talking about this, and I really love Mark Stein. Really is becoming the British Tucker Carlson. And we'll enjoy some clip of this, which is where he mentions that obviously this isn't standard procedure. None of this makes any kind of legal sense in the slightest. Let's play that.
You were then arrested and taken to Guildford Police Station, which we might be coming to, and we might do a mass demonstration out there, because this goes on every week up and down the realm.
And the thing is as well, what was really weird, so I've never been arrested before, and it is quite shocking. So they were saying, can you lift your legs up? And I wasn't lifting my legs up correctly because I wasn't quite sure what I was supposed to be doing. And they said, oh no, you need to lift them up this way because we need to check your socks for drugs. And I'm like, half an hour ago I'm in my kitchen cooking roast chicken, and now you're checking my socks for drugs. I mean, I understand that it's standard procedure, but it was just
No,
surreal.
it's not. No, it's not standard procedure. They've chosen to do this to you. And that is what is so disgraceful about these pseudo-coppers. Sir Robert Peel, the founder of British policing, wouldn't regard that as standard procedure. The other thing it's very brave of you even to come on television and talk about it. Our friend Samantha Smith from Telford came on TV to talk about her experience with the West Mercia police, and then they went round and bullied her and intimidated her the next morning for daring to come on television and tell the truth about these third-rate coppers.
Okay, so all I was watching this average Kiwi Farms user cooking the chicken for dinner. Cops burst in. It's like, show me your socks. Why? You've got drugs on them. What are you talking about?
You must be a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Why? Because Kit Kat posted stuff online. Who's Kit Kat?
This is the most deranged thing I've ever seen.
None of it makes any sense. There is no law in this country.
The police are like, well, why are you even here? Because you don't think women have penises. That's why.
The Taliban make more sense than this.
The Taliban at least logically coherent. All of this stems presumably from the fact that she doesn't think women have penises. And now it's like, right, you're a drug dealer. You've been look at you, 40-year-old mum. You're posting on Kiwi Farms and smuggling drugs in your socks.
Your mum's a drug dealer.
Your autistic child's been using it from your iPad. Like,
what's this? Hogwarts? Sounds like drugs terms to me.
just. And then, oh god, this is such an embarrassment for these cops.
Well, it's an embarrassment for the whole country.
Yeah.
I mean, like you say. I mean, it would be
God.
funny if this was a one-off and we could just, stupid story, right? But this is so common, and as Mark rightly says, he says he's going to organise some kind of protest outside.
It's got the kind of discombobulated theme to it that a Monty Python skit would have. Right?
Yeah.
It's genuinely Monty Python-esque. It's like arresting a mum for having drugs because someone posted something on the internet.
About women not having penises.
About women not having penises. Like it's literally like a crazy Monty Python.
Imagine trying to explain any of this to Margaret Thatcher. It's like-
Imagine trying to explain any of this to like anyone 5 years ago.
yeah. But it comes down to the point as well. And
Sorry, it's like if you go back 5 years and explain to people, look, people would be arresting mothers for claiming women don't have penises based on evidence other people posted on the internet. You'd be like, you were insane. That's obviously never going to happen.
Yeah, well. But there's just also the point that the police have been continuously told from multiple sources within and without the government, stop doing this. Like, this happens so often. There have been ministers, chief police coming out, just keep saying, please stop. You're making the entire policing service look like it needs to actually be abolished because what you're doing is just persecution. And treat the law like the law on suspicious salmon. For people who don't know, in England, it is illegal to carry salmon in a suspicious manner. Nobody knows what the fuck that means. Nor the police, who just don't enforce the law because... What are you talking about?
It probably made sense in 1627 when the law was probably enacted.
It was an 1800s law
There we go.
about illegal fishing. The idea that the suspicious aspect is you having illegal fish, but
Right, well, there we go.
it still makes no sense, even in the language of the day. But if we get to the next link, we can see the Police and Crime Commissioner for that police force has issued a statement. We've mentioned her before, if you remember her name. She also believes in biology, so she's
really?
going to be
Well-
investigated by her own police force soon enough. She says here...
She's probably the one on Kiwi Farms.
Yeah, she's Kit Kat. Those who know me know that I have no fear and no favour when it comes to holding the police to account on their own force. However, I would not be right for me to comment further at this stage with an ongoing police investigation. It is important to respect the due process. There's no respect of any law. What are you talking about? Yeah. And I will be keen...
Where's your warrant? I don't need a warrant.
I will be...
Actually, you might.
What are the charges? We don't need to tell you that.
Yeah, you don't have any. What's the evidence? None. Nothing connects you to any of this.
I'm in Czechoslovakia then, am I? Pure Kafka.
I'm just really annoyed by what you said about women and penises.
Yeah, but she says I will be taking a keen interest in the outcome, and she has previously berated her own police force for being retarded. But the thing is, it doesn't seem to be getting through their skulls, does it? And if we go to the next link, we can see again, as you mentioned, endless stories.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, there was the story about Harry Miller and how he was visited by the police for liking a limerick, and the police came around and said, we need to check your thinking. And this all went to the way of the High Court, and the High Court itself came out and said, stop, get some help. Like, what is wrong with you? Police. Like, the High Court have done that. Your own police and crime commissioners have done that.
Harry's going to be on Monday, by the way.
Yeah, it's going to be good to have him on, because I'd love his opinion on all this. As it just continues. The next link, of course, being that the Hampshire police were denounced by their own force for investigating a gay swastika.
Didn't he post the trans pride flag in the... 4
times?
Yeah, 4 times, yeah.
And so the police went round and were then...
So the police went round. Of course they did.
with no understanding of what had actually happened. Again, they were just confused. They were like, we were told that there was something offensive. Like, what do you mean the gay swastika? The gay what? Is that why we're here? And their own police force, like their chief of police, told them,
God,
stop,
I'm actually weeping.
for the love
This
of
is so
Christ,
funny.
you're going to ruin us. I'm sorry, but it's... We go to the next link, we can see that the police again were told, we are not the thought police.
Oh, really? Says
From
who?
the new Her Majesty's Inspector for the Constabulary itself, telling literally every one of the police force 4 months ago, fucking stop, please, stop. Like, this just keeps happening.
Why can't we start firing those police who do act as the thought police? Though?
String them up, frankly. Like, you're not doing anything right. You have been told 1,000,000 times from everyone to stop, and you're not doing it, in which case, I don't know what kind of punishment is the right thing for you at this point.
If it happened on the internet, just don't. That's the answer.
And if we go to the next link, we can see, well, what are they doing with their time? Well, nothing. I mean, this is the state of British policing, which is they will literally just break the law to arrest you for saying women don't have penises.
There's a housewife on the internet. Quick, get her.
But people who actually do break the law can do whatever the hell they want all the time, I guess. We have here the news that police in England and Wales pledged to attend every home burglary. Which you might be thinking, what do you mean you weren't? Hello, there's been a burglary. Can you come round and dust for prints?
Is that really my job?
What do you... Burglary? I don't know. Hate crime? No, I'll just hang up. 999.
Are you Kit Kat?
The police just don't investigate crime ever. Here's the data to prove it. In the year of March, the Home Office figure shows that...
In the year 2 March.
Sorry, the year 2 March. 6.3% of robbery offences and 4.1% of thefts in England and Wales resulted in charges. So if you want to rob
So
someone...
95% of robberies are just going uninvestigated.
If you're exploring a career in being a professional burglar...
No, we do not promote...
I'm just saying you have a 95% chance of not being caught. And I don't want to say that. I want to be able to say you have 95% chance of being caught. Crime doesn't pay. But the reality by the Home Office, they're telling us...
Like it was when I was younger.
Yep.
Like when the police actually investigated crimes. And
in case you're thinking, well, at least they'll have my prints on file if I commit a burglary, and then, there's some risk and not so much reward. No. Recent figures found that police attendance of burglaries in London have fallen below 50%. There is a more than 50% chance the police won't even dust for prints.
toss a coin and be like, nah, we're just not going.
No, if you want to rob a place, toss a coin. That's your chance of even being investigated. And then your chance of being caught is, I don't know, pick a short straw from a thing of toothpicks.
Yeah.
And that's your chance of actually getting charged with anything. That's not even your chance of being prosecuted and then sent to jail or any kind of crime. That's just charges being brought against you.
It's just
So
absurd.
It's madness.
Absolute clown country.
Mr. Hewitt said the forces had struggled to attend all the burglaries because of limited resources.
Oh, really?
We just don't have the resources. We don't have the manpower, the time. We're too busy at Kiwi Farms, looking at Kit Kat posts.
Too
Have you
busy
seen this
kicking in
one?
the doors of chicken cooking mothers.
What's that, chicken? In case you're wondering about whether this is some right-wing obsession of a distortion of the reality of the kind of resources that are being wasted, it's not. It's long since evidenced that this isn't. We have news here from 2019. Sadiq Khan's £1.7 million a year police unit on hate crime brought 6 trolls to justice in 2 years.
6 trolls to justice.
Justice. What justice? Did you think that these people have posted, women don't have penises, have been charged and given prison sentences, and you're like, well, that's justice? Because
Trolling is now a crime.
yeah, that's the reality.
So pathetic.
And yet, if you check out any of the media, where do they stand on this? Where does the state media stand on this sort of thing? Well, we have news in 2016, which was that hate crimes, prosecutions, falling, despite rise in reporting. The more hate crimes that get reported, the less that actually get prosecuted, because it turns out our people just keep reporting things that aren't crimes. Yeah.
This person said something offensive to me on the internet. How can he be allowed to get away with that?
Except that the numbers just keep going up. The next link here, we have the news from 2017. Rise in hate crime in England and Wales. It was up 29% that year alone. That's rookie numbers. We can do better than that.
I think we can.
We can go check out the Celts. We've been doing way better. We check out the Scots. What have the Scots been up to? Transgender hate crimes up 87% in Scotland.
Jesus.
If we go to the next link, please. You can see it. There you are.
Jesus Christ.
The proud, tolerant Scots who are most obsessed with this stuff are somehow also the most transphobic, except that no one's getting charged with a crime because there are no crimes.
But weirdly, it's not the Scottish police, the woke Scottish police kicking down the doors of mothers.
They will be doing some.
Well, yeah, it must be.
Not the only ones. However, the next link is the funniest one. Just the failure of reporting here as well. Reports of LGBT hate crimes rise more than 50% this year alone in West. I don't know what's going on with the title.
Where's West?
West.
Is it the West?
The entire West of the world.
I thought there might have been a town or something called West.
This isn't a spelling mistake.
Oh.
This isn't. They haven't updated this is 8th of August. This was published. This hasn't just gone up.
Well, it's Bristol Regional News, isn't it?
No one's bothered.
Yeah.
If you scroll down, actually, John, we can see in the article itself, so they say 50% in West.
They mean West in the West Country, right?
Presumably, just
Right, okay.
in West.
Right.
BBC Pigeon.
At least in the West, in the first sentence, there's something there. Yeah. BBC Pigeon, otherwise known as Bristol.
Anyway, so they say in here, individual reports of such incidences rose 38% in Avon and Somerset, so that's Jacob Rees-Mogg doing his work. 72% in Gloucestershire, just to the north of us.
Yeah.
And in proud Wiltshire, 149% it has gone up in our homeland here. God, it feels good to live in the Shire. Anyway, because again, none of these are crimes.
Most conservative area of this part as well.
These things keep getting reported, but none of them get charged with anything because there's no crime.
It's just people whining online.
It's just muffiels endlessly. And it's glad to see some speeches in regards to things like this. Tory Party conference happens to be going on, and I know it's this speech from Suella Braverman, who says here something quite based, which I've been saying for a while, actually. To those who dismiss political correctness as a conservative obsession, I say this. The grooming gang scandal is a stain on this country, and it's what happens when political correctness becomes more important than criminal justice.
I mean, that's great, but you guys are in charge. You have the overwhelming majority in the parliament. Legislate.
It's been 12 years.
Punish these people.
It's been 12 years.
Yeah.
It's been 12 years.
Over a decade. Legislate. Punish these people. Make it so that they literally suffer something for allowing this to go on.
Your right-wingers in America are like, Trump only had 4 years. He can't get... and he still didn't do this. It's like, they've had 12 years. They've done literally zero.
Conservatives have also, at this point, got the power of God in this country.
And in case you're wondering what the public are like, I'm sad to say this is not an uncommon position for the public to support such crap and other radical nonsense. And we'll play one person here who I'm sad to say is not actually as uncommon as you want. We'll play her talking about her job as a nurse in the NHS, caring for the public. Let's enjoy.
The way you want to treat them. And it eats you up. If you are there to do a job as a compassionate person, there are no resources, and you are told persistently on the news that, care homes are being ring-fenced. It's a lie, and I'm sorry, but if you have voted Conservative, you do not deserve to be resuscitated by the NHS.
Oh, hang on.
That is harsh. But I'm looking at these gentlemen,
You wouldn't resuscitate someone if they're Conservative.
Come on.
She's smiling.
Yes, she knows this is a shit test. She knows that she's pushing this way too far, and she did get fired for this. So.
Yeah, which was the right thing to do. You can't have someone who's actively talking about
No.
killing patients.
Believe it or not,
as a nurse.
the NHS is not meant to show political favour in that way. Weirdly enough.
Political genocide.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I might agree to this if I don't have to pay into the NHS, actually.
Yeah, healthcare is a right until you disagree with me, in which case death,
Yeah.
says the NHS workers. At least
tolerant
this one
left in
here.
action.
So, it's right that she's gone, but not as uncommon as needs to be, in my opinion. And in case you're wondering, all of this stuff is thanks to these retards. Endlessly, just going back to them. But these idiots run the country still ideologically. This is just my perfect example of how stupid they are from the recent conference. This is a lady arguing here that the more we increase benefits, the more we increase the economy. So the more welfare goes up, more economy we get. So if we increase welfare to infinity, we get infinity economy, and then we'll never have to beat China ever again.
What is wrong with the Labour Party?
I don't know. It is really, really a problem how stupid they are. And if you want to enjoy...
How would increasing benefits increase the economy anyway?
Because these people would have money and then they'd spend it in the shops,
Yeah,
and
but
that increases the economy.
They must know that the people they're taking money from have less money that they can then spend in the shops.
I know, we print the money to give the
I suppose
benefits.
we do, don't we?
So if we just print more money,
But
and then give it to the benefit holders.
Theoretically, it's underpinned by taxpayers.
But if we just keep printing the money infinitely and giving it to people who claim benefits, they'll spend infinite money in the economy, and then the taxpayers will have infinite money.
And everyone will end up as trillionaires.
it's
Pure Zimbabwean economics.
It's sub-child levels of stupid.
Yes.
The things we're dealing with. And if you go to the next link here, you can see the full compilation in case you want to go and check out on lotuses.com. This is
These
day
are so
2.
good as well.
And we'll just end off just to remind ourselves about why we're in such a mess. The British police act like this and get away with it. And it's because the geniuses in the Labour Party still run this place.
Yeah.
And we're just going to enjoy 2 more clips from this for fun. There's one in here of a Labour Party minister who came out and told everyone a horrific story of how one of her constituents is literally freezing to death. And this is before Ukraine, because she can't pay the energy bills. So what's her solutions? Nothing really. Just the more green shit.
Let's find out then.
Let's play.
Last April, on a cold spring evening, I knocked on the door of a constituent. When I reached out to shake her hand, it was purple and freezing cold. Already back then, she was afraid to put the heating on, struggling to get by on the small pension that she had built up through a lifetime of work. As energy bills and inflation rise even higher, I often think of her, and we will not waver in our support for Ukraine.
This was immediately,
Fracking is dangerous, it is bad for the planet, it won't even reduce our bills, and with Labour it will not happen. On climate change, the costs of inaction today will mean far greater costs tomorrow.
Surely she's not going to be
I
cold.
refuse to
Fine.
leave our children to pick up the pieces of our
Bro,
failure.
infinite money glitch.
Conference, I will be a responsible Chancellor. I will be Britain's first Green Chancellor.
I mean, this is what we're dealing with. My
absolute
constituents are
morons.
freezing to death. So we'll do
And I'm
everything to
against
make it
global
worse.
warming.
Yeah, but also more green stuff. I won't allow the extraction of more energy because to bring down the price. So instead, just make it worse. Great. And then the last one here, just to give you more insight into the infinite money glitch people.
Yeah.
We have a lady here telling us about women's so-called work, which was rather funny. This is a feminist union representative trying to represent women.
Okay.
Let's play.
The fact is that women's so-called work is undervalued. Until society values cleaning, caring, catering, doing sleepings to care for other people's elderly or disabled relatives, doing extra unpaid hours to cover an emergency, doing split shifts and working unsocial hours, we will continue to have unequal and unfair pay.
I just love it. Women's so-called work.
I might just clip that.
Like cleaning.
Yeah. It's like the Bernie Sanders, the American people are tired of women.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, what's after that, Bernie? Women's so-called work.
Yeah, and if you want to go and enjoy more of that, I suppose go over to lotuses.com, but it's just the point there of how are we in this mess? And it's because of these people who genuinely think they have found an infinite money glitch.
Yeah.
That's how dumb they are. Still control the police force through the laws that were passed, and nothing is happening.
But they also ideologically control the Conservative Party because the Conservatives are idiots. I watched Suella Braverman and Michael Gove and a few others on a conference panel, and it was like 2013 libertarian YouTube streams. It was really I'll probably do a thing on it. It was really low interest and low effort. It was just like, oh God, we're not dealing with good thinkers here.
Painful. But even when you change the laws, there's so little force from them that the police will just break the laws anyway and don't care. And frankly, Britain just looks like hell on earth if this continues. If you appreciated that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site, such as this premium article on the terminal list and the conversion of James Reese, with an audio track for silver and gold tiers, of course. If you'd like to go and find out what else we're putting out, you can follow us on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.